My wife turned our entire friend group against me, claiming I was financially abusive because I cut her allowance. I didn't argue. I just posted the receipts of her spending $15,000 of our savings on online gambling. Then the group chat exploded. Original post: I, 32 male, discovered 3 weeks ago that my wife, 30, has a serious gambling problem. Not casino gambling. Online gambling. The kind you can do from your phone at 2 a.m. while sitting on the couch pretending to scroll through Instagram. We've been married 4 years. Good marriage, I thought. Both working professionals, me in IT, her in marketing. Combined income around 140 Qley. Not rich, but comfortable. We had savings goals. House down payment, emergency fund, maybe kids eventually. Had. Past tense. It started when I noticed our savings account was lower than it should be. We each contributed $800 a month to joint savings. Should have had around $42,000 saved up. Had $27,000. Checked the statements. Withdrawals. Lots of them. $200 here, $500 there, $1,000 once. All going to something called Vegas Dream and Lucky Slots and BetMax Gaming. $15,000. Gone. Over 8 months. Confronted her that night. She cried. Said it started as fun, just small bets. Then she won $2,000 once and thought she could win more. Classic gambler logic. Promised she'd stop. Begged me not to tell anyone. Said she was ashamed. I believed her. Idiot. Set up new accounts. Moved remaining savings to one only I could access. Gave her a weekly allowance of $200 for personal spending, coffee, lunches, whatever. Removed her access to credit cards, kept one for emergencies. Standard addiction management stuff while she got help. She agreed to everything, seemed relieved actually, said she needed the boundaries. That lasted 5 days. Then our friend group chat exploded. Her best friend posted, "Can we talk about financial abuse in relationships?" Asking for a friend who's literally not allowed to access her own money by her controlling husband. My buddy responded, "Wait, what? Bill?" Another friend, "That's messed up. Women need financial independence. This is literally how abuse starts." I'm reading this thinking, are they talking about us? Then my wife posted, her, "Thanks for the support, guys. It's been really hard. I'm not allowed to have my own credit card. He gives me an allowance like I'm a child, tracks every dollar I spend. I feel trapped." The group chat went nuclear. 23 messages in 10 minutes. All variations of "leave him" and "that's abuse" and "I always knew something was off about him." Not one person asked my side. I sat there staring at my phone. My wife was in the bedroom, had been for an hour. This was planned. She'd set this up. Could have defended myself immediately, could have explained about the gambling. But something stopped me. Maybe pride. Maybe I wanted to see how far she'd take it. Logged into our bank accounts. Downloaded 8 months of statements. Highlighted every single gambling transaction. $15,347.82 total. Created a PDF. Added screenshots of the gambling site logins from our shared laptop. She never logged out. Added the text where she promised to stop. Saved it all, waited. The group chat continued. People I'd known for years calling me controlling, abusive, a manipulator. My wife playing the victim perfectly. He says it's for our future, but I can't even buy myself lunch without asking permission. That stung. Because I'd never said she couldn't buy lunch. The $200 weekly was for fun money. Groceries and bills came from joint accounts she still had access to. But facts didn't matter. The narrative was set. I was the bad guy. Waited until the chat died down, around midnight. Then posted the PDF. Me. Since we're discussing financial abuse, here's $15,347.82 of our savings that went to online gambling over 8 months. Every withdrawal highlighted, all without my knowledge. The allowance was intervention for addiction, not control. But sure, I'm the abusive one. Sent it, put my phone on silent, went to bed, woke up to 156 unread messages. Update 1, 1 week later. The group chat is still chaos. Let me catch you up. When I posted those receipts, the immediate response was silence, like dead air for 20 minutes. Then one of the guys, my closest friend in the group, messaged, "Holy crap, dude." That broke the dam. Questions flooded in, people asking my wife directly, "Is this real?" Her response, "It's out of context. He's twisting things to make me look bad." Out of context. 15 grand in gambling losses is out of context. But here's the thing about friend groups. Once you plant doubt, people take sides. Not based on facts, based on feelings and who they like more. Her best friend doubled down. Okay, but posting private financial info publicly is still controlling behavior. This is revenge, not concern. My buddy, he posted it because she publicly called him abusive. That's defending yourself. Her friend, he could have handled this privately. My buddy, she made it public first, and so on. The chat split, maybe 60-40 against me, which honestly was better than expected. Before the receipts, it was 100% against me. But here's where it got messy in real life. My wife moved out, went to stay with her best friend, left me a note. You humiliated me. I can never forgive this. We're done. No mention of the gambling, no apology, just anger at being exposed. Her family started calling. Her mom left a voicemail calling me cruel for airing dirty laundry and destroying her daughter's reputation. Her dad texted, "Real men handle problems privately. You're pathetic." My family? Supportive but worried. Mom said, "Honey, you're right, but being right doesn't mean you'll win. People don't like being wrong about someone they defended." She wasn't wrong. Work got awkward. My wife and I don't work together, but we have mutual professional connections. Word spread. HR called me in for a wellness check because someone reported I might be going through something. Had to explain the situation. They were sympathetic but clearly uncomfortable. The worst part? Some of our friends who initially defended me started backing off. Not openly switching sides, just going quiet. Unfollowing the group chat, declining hangout invitations, being busy. Turns out people don't like drama. Even when you're objectively right, being involved in a messy situation makes you radioactive. Meanwhile, my wife started her own narrative campaign. Not in the group chat, she'd learned that lesson, but individually. Messaging people privately. Her version. Yes, she had a small gambling problem, but I was overbearing and controlling. The gambling was her way of feeling free. Classic abuse victim behavior. She was coping, and people bought it, or enough of them did. My buddy showed me screenshots. Her message to his girlfriend, "I know the receipts look bad, but you don't see the daily criticism. The way he monitors my every move. The gambling was wrong, but it was my only escape. I felt suffocated." Masterful manipulation. Admit to the gambling, minimize it, then pivot to being a victim of my control. Got a text from a couple we used to hang with. "Hey man, we care about both of you, but we think it's best if we take some space from the situation until you guys figure things out. Hope you understand." Translation: we believe her. We're out. Lost about 6 friends that week. People who I'd known since college, gone. But something interesting happened at day 9. Her best friend's husband messaged me privately. "Dude, I gotta tell you something. Wife doesn't know I'm saying this. Your wife came to stay with us, right? She's been on her phone gambling every night, like significant amounts. I saw over her shoulder. She's not stopping." Me, how much? Saw one bet for $800 last night. My wife is clueless. I don't know what to do. Me, document it. You might need it. For what? Me, when she can't make rent and asks to borrow money. 3 days later, he messaged again. She asked for $1,200. Said she's short on rent money. My wife wants to help her. Called it. I didn't respond. Not my circus anymore, but I did start documenting everything. Her messages to friends, screenshots of her posts, building a case. For what, I didn't know yet. But I knew this wasn't over. Update 2, 3 weeks later, divorce is officially filed. I did it first. Beat her to the punch. She lost it when she got served. Called me screaming about how I was abandoning her and not supporting her through her illness. Gambling addiction is apparently only an illness when it's convenient for her narrative. Her attorney sent a letter demanding 50% of all marital assets, standard, reimbursement for the $15,000 gambling money because it came from joint funds she had equal right to access. Spousal support for 2 years while she recovers from financial abuse trauma. Me to pay her legal fees. I laughed. Actually laughed. My attorney didn't. They're going to argue that your restriction of funds caused her emotional distress, that the gambling was a symptom of your controlling behavior. That's insane. That's family court. Discovery process started. Both sides have to disclose finances. My wife's disclosures came in. Current savings $340. Checking $89. Credit card debt $12,000. All since she moved out 3 weeks ago. She'd gambled away everything she had left, plus borrowed money. I have no idea where the $12,000 in credit card debt came from. Those weren't cards connected to me. My attorney, this actually helps us, shows ongoing addiction and financial irresponsibility, undermines her argument that you were being controlling versus protective of assets. Meanwhile, her friend group continued the pressure campaign, not in the original group chat that had been abandoned, but individually and on social media. Her best friend posted, "Reminder that leaving someone when they're struggling with addiction is cruel. Support systems matter. Some people show their true colors when things get hard." Didn't name me. Didn't have to. Everyone knew. Comments were mixed, some agreeing, some pointing out that enabling addiction isn't support. Lot of armchair psychology about codependency. I didn't respond. My attorney said not to engage on social media at all. Everything you post can be used in court, but my mom did. Bless her. Commented, "Reminder that stealing $15,000 from your spouse and then playing victim when confronted is also cruel. Accountability matters." Her comment got 43 likes, more than the original post. Small victory. The real shift happened at the temporary orders hearing. This is where the judge decides temporary stuff while the divorce proceeds. Who lives where, temporary support, that kind of thing. My wife showed up dressed conservatively. Hair pulled back, minimal makeup, playing the victim perfectly. Her attorney argued she needed temporary spousal support of $2,000 per month because she couldn't work full-time due to emotional trauma from the marriage. My attorney presented bank statements showing the gambling, credit reports showing new debt, screenshots of her messages admitting to the gambling, statement from her best friend's husband, he'd agreed to provide it, about ongoing gambling while living with them. Judge reviewed everything, looked at my wife. "Ma'am, are you currently employed?" "Part-time. The stress of the divorce has made it hard to work full-time." "But you were working full-time before the separation?" "Yes, but..." "And the reduction in hours happened after you left the marital home?" "Yes." "Of your own choice to leave?" "I felt unsafe." Judge reviewed more paperwork. "I see no police reports, no restraining orders, no documented threats. What made you feel unsafe?" "He was controlling my money." "Your testimony states he restricted access to credit cards after discovering significant gambling debts. Is that correct?" "He made me feel like a child." "Did he restrict access to your personal accounts or paycheck?" Pause. "No." "So you had access to your own income?" "Yes." "And the restriction was on joint accounts and credit cards?" "Yes." Judge wasn't having it. Ruled, no spousal support during pendency of divorce, marital assets frozen until trial. Each party pays own legal fees. She needs to find her own housing. My apartment lease is in my name only. Outside the courthouse, her attorney looked frustrated. My attorney looked pleased. My wife looked furious. She cornered me in the parking lot. "You're really going to destroy me over this?" "I'm not destroying anything. You did this. I have a problem. I need help. I tried to help. You called me abusive. You turned our friends against me. You made your choice. I was embarrassed. I didn't want people to know. So you made me the bad guy instead. What was I supposed to do? Tell the truth, get actual help, not blame me for your addiction." She started crying, real tears this time. "I can't afford rent. I have nowhere to go. That's not my problem anymore." Walked away. Felt bad for about 30 seconds. Then remembered the 156 messages calling me abusive. But here's where it gets interesting. That night, 2 friends from the original group, ones who'd gone quiet after everything, messaged me. Friend 1, "Hey man, I owe you an apology. I believed her without asking your side. That was wrong. I'm sorry." Friend 2, "Just want you to know I see what's happening. The court stuff is public record. You're doing the right thing." Not full vindication, but something. Also heard through the grapevine that her best friend kicked her out. The gambling at their house was the last straw. Her husband put his foot down after she asked to borrow more money. She's staying with her parents now, who, according to my buddy who's still loosely in touch with that circle, are not happy. They're traditionalists, believe in staying married. Working through problems. They're funding her attorney but making it clear they think she's screwed up. The narrative is slowly shifting. Not everywhere. Not with everyone. But enough. People are starting to ask questions. Like, wait, if he was so controlling, why did she have her own credit cards? Why could she leave whenever she wanted? Why didn't she report anything to anyone until after he caught the gambling? The answers don't look good for her story. Update 3. 2 months later, divorce was finalized last week, faster than expected. Turns out, when one party has documented proof of wasting marital assets and the other party keeps accumulating debt, judges move things along. Final settlement, she gets 35% of marital assets after the gambling losses are deducted. Judge ruled the $15,000 counted as dissipation of marital assets. No spousal support. She keeps her car, which she's still paying off. I keep the apartment and my savings. Each pays own legal fees. She fought it. Her attorney filed appeals, requested delays, tried to argue the gambling losses shouldn't count. Judge denied everything. Said clear pattern of financial irresponsibility and lying precluded equitable distribution. My attorney costs $8,000. Worth every penny. Her costs probably double that, since her parents were paying. The friend group situation, mostly resolved, weirdly. The original group chat was deleted. People splintered into smaller groups. I'm in one with about 6 people, the ones who either believed me from the start or came around after seeing the evidence. My ex-wife has her own group, smaller. Her best friend, despite kicking her out, still orbits her drama. Few others. They occasionally post supportive things about surviving toxic relationships and choosing yourself. Whatever. Not my problem. The mutual friends who went silent? Still silent. Couple of them sent awkward, "Hey, sorry about everything" messages. I responded politely, but didn't push for reconnection. Some friendships don't survive this kind of thing. That's okay. Work stabilized. HR stopped checking on me. Colleagues stopped giving me pitying looks. Life moved on. The actual aftermath of the gambling. My ex-wife's debt ballooned to $18,000. Credit cards, personal loans, probably loan sharks for all I know. Her parents cut her off after she asked for more money post-divorce. They'd funded her attorney with the agreement she'd get help for the gambling. She didn't. She's in some kind of outpatient program now. Court mandated as part of a payment plan negotiation with creditors. Don't know details? Don't want to. Last I heard, she's working full-time again. Living in a studio apartment. Still doing marketing. Functionality intact, even if her finances aren't. We don't talk. No reason to. No kids, no shared assets, no connection. But I did get one message from her about 3 weeks ago. "I'm sorry. For what it's worth. I was wrong to blame you. I was ashamed and scared and I handled it badly. I know you probably don't care, but I needed to say it." I read it. Didn't respond. What would I even say? Thanks for the apology after destroying my reputation and trying to take me for everything in court? Water under the bridge? I forgive you? I don't know if I forgive her. I'm not angry anymore, which is different. Anger takes energy. I don't have energy for her. My therapist, yeah, I got one, says that's healthy. You don't have to forgive to move on. You just have to accept that it happened and choose what to do next. What I chose: new apartment. Better job, got promoted actually. Kept the friends worth keeping. Started dating again, casually, nothing serious. Life is weirdly normal now. Quiet, no drama, no group chat explosions, no attorneys, just regular life. Sometimes I think about what would have happened if I hadn't posted those receipts. If I just defended myself with words. Would anyone have believed me? Would the narrative have stuck? Probably. People believe the first story they hear, especially when it fits their biases. Woman says husband is financially controlling? Must be true. Man says woman has gambling problem? Sounds like an excuse. I don't regret posting the evidence. Some people call it petty. Maybe it was. But I wasn't about to let someone destroy my reputation based on lies while I quietly took the high road. The high road doesn't clear your name. Evidence does. Final thought on the friend group thing. It taught me who my real friends are. Not the people who immediately took my side. That's just loyalty bias. But the people who asked questions. Who said, "I don't know enough to judge," and stayed neutral until facts came out. Those are the keepers. The people who immediately believed the worst about me without asking my side, they would have done that eventually about something else. Better to know now. As for my ex-wife, I hope she gets help. I really do. Addiction is brutal. It destroys lives. But her addiction isn't my responsibility. Her choices aren't my fault. And her recovery, or lack thereof, isn't my problem. I did what I could when I was her husband. Set boundaries, tried to help, got accused of abuse for it. Now I'm just a guy who learned an expensive lesson about trust, friendship, and the importance of documenting everything. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Life goes on. Drama fades, truth eventually surfaces. Not always in time to save everything, but enough to save what matters. Myself, mostly. And that's enough. My wife whispered to her friend, "He has no idea I'm draining the accounts before I leave him." I pretended to be asleep. Then I got up, transferred the remaining funds to a secure offshore account, and left a note, "Check the balance." Her scream from the living room woke the neighbors. Original post I, 35 male, have always been the guy who reads the terms and conditions. I'm a forensic accountant for a firm that specializes in corporate restructuring. Basically, I find the money people try to hide when a company goes belly up. You'd think a guy with my skill set would spot a grifter sleeping in his own bed. But love has a way of making you blind to the red flags waving right in front of your face. I've been married to Caitlin, 32 female, for 6 years. For the last 2, I've felt less like a husband and more like a venture capitalist funding a startup that never launches. Caitlin is beautiful, charismatic, and perpetually on the verge of a breakthrough. First, it was a boutique event planning business that cost me 30 grand and produced exactly 1 birthday party. Then it was a luxury travel blog that required first-class tickets but generated 0 ad revenue. Currently, she's into high-frequency lifestyle trading. I don't even know what that means, but it involves a lot of dinners with investors and a lot of new outfits that cost more than my mortgage payment. We live in a nice house in the suburbs. I pay for it. I pay for the cars. I pay for the organic grocery delivery service she insists on but rarely cooks with. I thought we were a team, just going through a rough patch while she found her footing. Last night, Caitlin hosted a strategy session with her best friend Monica. Monica is single, bitter, and treats men like renewable resources to be mined and discarded. I usually make myself scarce when Monica is over, so I told them I had a migraine and was going to crash on the recliner in the den with the lights off. The den is adjacent to the kitchen, separated by a thin wall and a pocket door that doesn't latch properly. I drifted off for a bit, the hum of their voices just background noise. I woke up because the tone changed. It went from the loud, performative laughter they use when they're drinking Pinot Grigio to that low, conspiratorial whisper that signals nothing good. "He's such a drone," Caitlin whispered. I didn't move. My eyes were closed, my breathing steady. "He literally asked me to budget for the trip to Cabo. Can you believe that?" "Budget? Gross," Monica replied. "So is it done?" "Almost," Caitlin said, and I could hear the smirk in her voice. "He has no idea I'm draining the accounts before I leave him. I already moved the savings into that crypto wallet Justin set up for me. Tonight, once he's actually asleep upstairs, I'm logging into the brokerage. I'm liquidating the index funds. By Monday morning, I'll be in Miami with the money, and he'll be waking up to a 0 balance and a divorce filing." "You're a genius," Monica giggled. "He deserves it for wasting your prime years." "I know," Caitlin sighed. "It's my severance package. I earned it dealing with his boring work stories." My heart didn't race. That's the funny thing about my job. When panic hits, I get cold. I get logical. I lay there for another 10 minutes, waiting until I heard the sliding glass door open. They were going out to the patio to smoke. I sat up. The house was silent. I walked into my home office and locked the door. I didn't turn on the big light. The glow of my 3 monitors was enough. Caitlin thinks she's smart because she watches TikToks about financial liberation. She doesn't realize that I built the security protocols for half the banks she banks with. She had access to our joint checking and savings. Yes, she also had authorized user status on my main brokerage account because I trusted her. That was my mistake. But Caitlin forgot one crucial detail: the security tokens. To liquidate the brokerage account or move anything over $10,000, you need the physical 2FA key that stays on my keychain. She probably planned to swipe it while I slept. I didn't just block her access. I went nuclear. I logged into the admin portal for our family trust, a legal entity I set up years ago to protect assets from liability lawsuits in my line of work. I initiated an immediate, cascading transfer. Checking account, drained. left $15. Savings account, drained, left $5. Brokerage account, locked down. I revoked her authorization and changed the password to a 64-character string of nonsense. Credit cards, I marked every single card in her possession as stolen, compromised. Then, I moved the funds. I didn't just put them in another savings account. I wired them to a secure corporate holding account I use for my business consulting. This account is not marital property in the traditional sense. We can argue about that in court, but good luck touching it tonight. And more importantly, it's impenetrable without my biometrics. It took me 12 minutes to turn Caitlin from a wealthy housewife into a woman with $15 to her name. I printed a screenshot of the transfer complete screen. On the back of it, I wrote in thick black marker, "Check the balance." I walked out to the kitchen. I propped the note up against the bottle of expensive wine they had been drinking. Then I went upstairs, packed a bag with my essentials, passport, laptop, hard drive, suits, and walked out the front door. I drove my car around the block and parked where I could see the living room window, but remained hidden in the shadows. I waited. It took about 20 minutes. I saw the kitchen lights flick on. I saw shadows moving. Then, the window to the living room seemed to vibrate. The scream wasn't human. It was the sound of a predator realizing it had walked into a bear trap. No, 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 no. I could hear her through the glass of my car. The neighbor's lights started flickering on. I saw Caitlin running around the living room, phone in hand. She was frantically tapping, probably trying to refresh the banking app, hoping it was a glitch. Then my phone buzzed. "Where is the money?" "Lucas, the app is broken. Fix it." "I know you did something. Pick up the phone, you psycho." I didn't reply. I just watched. A police cruiser rolled up about 10 minutes later. The neighbors must have called in a domestic disturbance. I watched the officers walk up the driveway. Caitlin opened the door, hysterical, pointing inside. I started my car and drove to a hotel downtown, the Four Seasons. I figured since I was the only one with access to the money, I might as well enjoy it. Update 1. I am currently sitting in a suite that costs more per night than Caitlin's car payment. I have ordered room service and I am watching the chaos unfold from a safe distance. The morning after the scream, I woke up to 73 missed calls and a text thread that looked like the diary of a mad woman. "Caitlin, the police said they can't do anything. They said it's a civil matter. You stole my money. I have a brunch meeting with investors in an hour. My card was declined for the Uber. Turn it back on. Now. I'm sorry, okay? I was just venting to Monica. I wasn't really going to leave. I was drunk. Please, Lucas, I have no gas in the car." I took a sip of my coffee and finally replied, "Me. I heard the part about the crypto wallet, Caitlin, and the part about Miami, and the part about me being a drone. The bank isn't broken. The cards aren't broken. You are no longer an authorized user on my accounts. Good luck with the investors." Then I called my lawyer. Let's call him Saul. Saul is the kind of lawyer who scares other lawyers. He doesn't raise his voice. He just raises his billable hours and destroys you with paperwork. I met Saul at his office at 10 a.m. I played him the recording. Yes, I have security cameras in my house with audio. I installed them 2 years ago after a break-in down the street. Caitlin knows they are there. She just forgot, or she's too arrogant to care. Saul listened to her whisper. He has no idea I'm draining the accounts before I leave him. He smiled. It was a terrifying smile. "Well," Saul said, "she just admitted to attempted grand larceny and premeditated embezzlement of marital assets. That's going to make the divorce proceedings very efficient." We filed for divorce immediately. We also filed an emergency motion to freeze any assets she did manage to squirrel away, specifically that crypto wallet she bragged about. While we were drafting the paperwork, Caitlin was busy digging her hole deeper. She went to the bank. According to the branch manager, who I have known for 10 years, she caused a scene that involved throwing a stapler at a teller. She demanded they override my authorization. They threatened to call the police. She left, but not before screaming that I was financially abusing her. Then she tried to sell the furniture. I got a notification from my home security system. Motion detected in living room. I pulled up the feed on my phone. Caitlin and Monica were trying to drag my leather recliner out the front door. I called the local police non-emergency line. Yes, this is Lucas' name. I am the homeowner at address. There are individuals removing furniture from the property. I am currently separated from my wife, and she is attempting to liquidate marital assets in violation of the pending divorce filing. The police arrived while they were trying to shove the recliner into the back of Monica's SUV. It didn't fit. I watched on the camera as the officer explained to Caitlin that she couldn't sell the furniture. "It's my house," she screamed. "It's community property until a judge says otherwise, ma'am," the cop said. "Put the chair back." She dragged the chair back inside. She kicked it, then she collapsed on it and started sobbing. But the real kicker, the part that makes this all make sense, came out later that afternoon. I received an email from a man named Justin. Subject: regarding your investment, Mr. Last Name. I am writing on behalf of Caitlin. There seems to be a misunderstanding regarding the capital transfer scheduled for this morning. We have strict deadlines for the Phase 3 buy-in for the Ascension Protocol. If the $150,000 is not received by close of business, Caitlin will lose her spot in the Founders Circle and her initial deposit will be forfeited. I forwarded the email to Saul immediately. Justin isn't just a crypto bro. I did a quick background check. Justin is a life coach and wealth guru who runs a pyramid scheme centered around buying virtual real estate in a metaverse that doesn't exist yet. Caitlin wasn't just leaving me. She was cashing me out to buy into a scam. She had already given him our savings, the money I thought was sitting in the emergency fund. She moved it weeks ago. I checked the records. She'd been siphoning money for months, little withdrawals here and there. Then the big chunk. The entitlement is staggering. She truly believed that because she put up with me, she was entitled to my life savings to buy magic beans from a guy named Justin who probably lives in his mom's basement. I sent a reply to Justin. There will be no transfer. Caitlin has no access to funds. I suggest you refund her initial deposit immediately, or my lawyer will be contacting the Attorney General regarding your operation. I do this for a living, Justin. I will find every penny. I haven't heard back from Justin, but Caitlin is blowing up my phone again. Caitlin, you ruined it. You scared Justin off. He's not answering my DMs. That money was my future. You are jealous because he's a visionary and you're a bean counter. I am a bean counter, and right now I'm counting all the beans she's never going to touch again. Update 2. It has been 5 days since I left the house. The war of attrition has begun, and Caitlin is losing bad. I decided to cut the utilities at the house. Okay, I didn't cut them. That would be illegal. I simply removed my name from the accounts. I called the electric company, the water company, and the internet provider. I explained that I no longer resided at the property and to take the billing out of my name, effective immediately. They sent a final bill to me and a notice to the occupant that they needed to set up a new account within 48 hours or service would be suspended. Caitlin, of course, ignored the mail. She has never paid a utility bill in her life. She assumes electricity is a natural right that just happens. Yesterday, the internet went out. I know this because I received a text from Caitlin via SMS, green bubble tragic, instead of iMessage. Caitlin, the Wi-Fi is down. I can't upload my apology video to my followers. Fix it. I don't live there. Caitlin, the account is closed. You have to open your own account. I can't. They want a deposit. I have no money. You are starving me out. You have a job, don't you? The lifestyle trading? Surely that pays well. She didn't reply. The Justin situation has exploded. After I threatened him with the Attorney General, Justin apparently decided Caitlin was a liability. He blocked her on everything. But here's the beautiful part. The crypto wallet she mentioned? It wasn't a wallet she controlled. It was a direct transfer to his wallet. She gave him $45,000 of our money and he ghosted her. She is now realizing that she is broke, alone, and scamming. So naturally, she went on the offensive. She posted a video on social media, using cellular data, I assume. In the video, she is crying without tears. She claims I abandoned her. She claims I have a secret gambling addiction, and that I drained the accounts to pay off a bookie. She claims she is a survivor of financial violence. It got about 4,000 views. Unfortunately for her, most of our mutual friends know what I do for a living. They know I don't gamble. I don't even buy lottery tickets because the odds offend me. I didn't respond on social media. I responded in court. Saul filed a motion for an emergency hearing regarding the defamation and the dissipation of assets, the $45 she gave to Justin. We stood in front of a judge this morning. Caitlin showed up wearing an old dress, trying to look destitute. Her lawyer, a guy she clearly found on a bus bench, tried to argue that I left her without resources. Saul stood up. He adjusted his tie. Your Honor, the respondent Caitlin admitted on a recorded line to planning to embezzle the entirety of the marital estate to flee the jurisdiction. She has already transferred $45,000 to a known fraudulent entity. My client secured the remaining funds to preserve the estate. We are happy to release a stipend for necessities, provided she vacates the marital home so it can be sold to recover the losses she incurred. The judge looked at Caitlin. Mrs. Last name, did you transfer $45,000 to a Justin Miller? It was an investment, Caitlin shouted. It was going to triple in a month. Lucas is just trying to control me, the judge sighed. He rubbed his temples. Ma'am, that money is likely gone. You have dissipated marital assets. The petitioner, me, acted prudently to secure the rest. I am granting the motion. You have 30 days to vacate the home. You will receive a weekly stipend of $300 for food and essentials. Do not post about this case on social media again, or I will hold you in contempt. Caitlin looked like she had been slapped. $300? She whispered. That doesn't even cover my facial. Welcome to the real world, the judge said. After court, Caitlin tried to approach me in the parking lot. She switched tactics. She went for the soft approach. Lucas, she said, putting a hand on my arm, we're throwing away 6 years. I was just confused. Justin manipulated me. I'm a victim here too. Can't we just go home? I'll cook dinner. We can watch that show you like. I looked at her hand on my arm. I felt nothing. You were going to leave me with $0, Caitlin. You were going to wake up, steal everything I worked for, and leave me to rot while you partied in Miami. That's not confusion. That's malice. I was unhappy, she cried. Then you should have asked for a divorce, I said, not a robbery. I got in my car. As I drove away, I saw her kicking the tire of her Range Rover, which reminds me I need to retrieve the Range Rover. The lease is in my name. Update 3, it has been 2 months. The dust has settled, and the silence is magnificent. The divorce was finalized yesterday. It was a bloodbath, but mostly for her. Because Caitlin had wasted $45,000 of marital funds on a scam, the court deducted that amount from her share of the remaining assets. Since we had about $100,000 in equity in the house and $200,000 in savings/investments that I saved, the math was not in her favor. After deducting the $45 she stole and half of the credit card debt she racked up, which I proved was for her personal business expenses, she walked away with about $15,000. Total. That is all she has to show for 6 years of marriage and a failed attempt at grand larceny. Justin, the scammer, was actually arrested in Florida last week on unrelated wire fraud charges. I sent the tip to the FBI myself. I attached the transaction logs from Caitlin's transfer. It felt good to use my professional skills for personal vengeance. Caitlin won't see a dime of that money back, but at least Justin is going to prison. The house. I sold the house. I couldn't live there anymore. Too many memories of her complaining about the backsplash I paid for. When the movers came to clear it out, we found that Caitlin had been busy. She couldn't sell the furniture, so she damaged it. She poured bleach on the carpets in the guest room. She scratched greedy into the hardwood floor of the hallway. I documented everything. I deducted the cost of repairs from her $15,000 settlement. She ended up with a check for $8,400. The confrontation. I saw Caitlin one last time. She came to the lawyer's office to sign the final decree. She looked tired. The high-frequency lifestyle gloss was gone. Her roots were showing. She was wearing jeans and a sweater that I recognized from Target. She signed the papers without looking at me. But as she stood up to leave, she paused. You know, she said, her voice shaking. You're going to be lonely. You're going to sit in your big, empty apartment with your money, and you're going to realize that money doesn't hug you back. I looked at her. I thought about the night she whispered to Monica. I thought about the way she laughed about draining my accounts. Caitlin, I said, I'd rather be lonely in a penthouse than broke in a pyramid scheme. And honestly, my money has never lied to me. It has never pretended to love me while plotting to stab me in the back. I think we'll be very happy together." She stormed out. Monica was waiting for her in the lobby. I noticed Monica didn't hug her. Monica looked annoyed that she was having to drive Caitlin around. That friendship has an expiration date now that Caitlin can't pick up the tab. Where I am now, I moved into a condo in the city. It's modern, secure, and has a great view. I changed all my passwords. I bought a new physical security key for my accounts. I'm not dating yet. I'm taking a break. I'm enjoying the simple things, like ordering a pizza and not having someone tell me it's low-vibration food. I did keep one souvenir. The note I wrote, "Check the balance." I framed it. It hangs in my home office, right above my monitors. It's not a trophy, it's a reminder. Always read the fine print, always trust your gut, and never ever go to sleep until you know where the exits are. Caitlin is living with her mother in a small town 2 hours away. I heard she's working as a receptionist at a dental office. I hope she learns how to budget.